Hey everybody, welcome back to Harris Family Adventures. If you're new here, my name is Heather and my husband Justin, my son Reese and I are doing a bunch of travel this year and wanted you to come along with us. I am so sorry, you might hear the dishwasher running. That's okay. I've changed locations today to kind of mix it up because today is the last of our series in our Valentin Imperial Riviera Maya series. So I've had a packing list, I've had a pack with me, I've had a day in the life, I've had paperwork you might need, and then I've had 5 parts to the series for each of the days that we were there. So to kind of wrap it all up and to summarize it all, I decided to do one last part, part 6, and this is going to be the pros and cons of this most recent stay at the Valentin. Now, I didn't just take my opinions into account. I also asked my husband for his opinions as well as the other couple we went with. I said, everybody give me some pros and cons, and then I can share them with the people. So I kind of thought, do we start positive and then go negative? Do we start negative and go positive? Do we go back and forth? Let's start positive. Maybe we'll probably end positive too. Okay, so here are some pros. And I have my list. The pro list is much longer than the con list. So I do want to come away with the pros are much longer than the cons. We will definitely be going again. 100% we will be going again. So okay, first of all, and this is something that I talked about, I would say 99% of the interactions with staff are fantastic. I feel like they are looking for ways to not just kind of meet expectations, but to exceed them. One of the specific people that the other couple wanted to give a shout out to was Lorenzo at the pool. They must have met Lorenzo after we left because Justin and I don't remember Lorenzo at the pool and meeting him and talking with him, but there were so many staff members who they may have just seen you the day before, but they already remembered what you wanted to drink that day for lunch or breakfast, and they want to talk with you and that type of thing. So the staff is really exceptional. Overall, the service is really exceptional. I put as one of my pros the Italian restaurant. So that is my favorite restaurant. We've now tried all of them except for the Indonesian, and it's still my favorite restaurant. I just love the atmosphere. I love the bruschetta. I love the caprese salad. Caprese salad did make my friend's pro list as well. Yeah, I just love it, and I love Italian food. So that showed up on my pro list. Also on some others pro lists were the French restaurant. Now, that's probably my least favorite. And Justin, we were talking last night, he was like, yeah, I wouldn't choose to go there again. He had the steak there and he said, but the steak was really good. Like it was fine. But both of us agreed we'd rather go to a different restaurant or even just order room service instead. However, on the pro list for the couple that we went with, the French restaurant, the potato soup and the onion soup made their pro list. So take that for what it's worth. We got a little bit of a con in there with some pros. I have, wow, I must have been hungry when I was making this. I have the buffet as a pro. Again, if you've watched the other ones, not to continue to belabor this point, but there used to be for breakfast and lunch 2 buffets that were available. One at Mar and Tierra, which is next to the beach, and one at La Marche, which is inside closer to where the rest of the restaurants are. It turns into the Mexican restaurant at night. So they both used to be buffets. Mar and Tierra is now a la carte instead, where you order from a menu, but La Marche is still a buffet. And we loved, if you've seen my other videos, like the turkey sandwich that I had for breakfast one day at Mar and Tierra. It was like my favorite turkey sandwich ever. It was delicious food, but I just love a buffet. Maybe we went to Vegas a lot growing up, so maybe and I love food, and I just love a buffet. And the buffet food is so good. I have a video, and I'm not gonna share it with you guys, but I have a video of me just being like 10 out of 10 recommend. And then I would try something else on my plate, like 10 out of 10 recommend, 10 out of 10 recommend. So I put the buffet as definitely a pro. Now it is a little bit of a longer walk, so if it's like the middle of the day and it's lunchtime, sometimes it is like, because you have to walk back to the lobby area. But I think overall the food is really good, and I just love the buffet food. Just love it. Justin said one of his pros, which I had kind of not thought of this, was the coffee bar. Now, I don't like coffee. I don't like coffee, the smell of coffee, the taste of, I don't like anything about coffee. I will throw up here. So they have hot drinks that are coffee. They have iced coffee drinks, and then they have drinks that aren't coffee. So if you missed this, I said earlier, a couple of times when we went and Justin would get the Cafe Kahlua, I think is what it's called, which is the iced coffee area. One time I tried, it was a cucumber mint water. I didn't love it, but it's so beautiful. It's not cozy. I don't know how to describe it. It's a really good atmosphere. It is a smaller place, and they did have food there too. And one of my regrets, like, even if we weren't hungry, we should have just tried the cookie or a banana or a sandwich or something just to kind of be able to share the reviews with you guys. But I love that they have that. I think that's something that people had been asking for a long time. So going back to service, Valentin listens, and they finally got one in place. And I can see that becoming only more and more popular. It's a little tricky to find, but definitely made our pro list. Another one was buildings 4 and 5. Now, we didn't stay in building 5. We've never stayed in building 5, but I'll put the map up here. So this time we stayed in building 4, which is such a good location. It's not too far to walk to the lobby and the restaurants. It's really close to the pool. So it's kind of central to everything. I don't know what video it is. I did talk about, we've upgraded in the past to having the bigger room, but Justin said, like, oh, if we would have never upgraded, like, this is perfect. They didn't ask us to upgrade this time, and we just didn't, and we had the most basic category possible, and it was fantastic. I was looking at a video of our old rooms that we'd stayed in. I think this room had every single thing. It only had one TV. I guess one of them had 2 TVs. But it had everything else. The view is really, I think, what people pay for in the upgrade. But again, an ocean view isn't really an ocean view. It's like room, a bunch of beach, and palm trees. And on the ground floor, the beach kind of goes up a little bit. So I would not, you do you, I would not pay for an upgrade. We will never pay for an upgrade if I have anything to say about it, because the basic room, definitely a pro. Like, when the most basic room is fantastic, that's a pro. That you don't have to, like, we got a basic, like, it's fine. No, we had a basic and it was fantastic, and we will always, forever, Justin was like, we will always get in buildings 4 or 5. If you saw on the map, 5 was right next to 4, so I think that would provide the same kind of proximity that we like. Okay, now this would have shown up on my pro list, which was the pizza. And after we left, my friend actually got the gluten-free pizza. So she has celiac disease. She has to be very careful about what she eats. And she didn't even know that that existed. But one of our servers, fantastic service, had let her know that that was an option at one point. And so after we had left and gone home, she'd ordered it one day for lunch, and she said it is the best gluten-free pizza she has ever had. Even her husband, it showed up on his pro list as like 1,000 times, the gluten-free pepperoni pizza. So I think that there's several pros in there. A, the food. B, the pizza. It is delicious. C, the gluten-free pizza apparently is fantastic. And I think within that, D, their respect for food intolerances and sensitivities. They are very, very good about that. I think our very first time, my friend thought she may have gotten a little bit of gluten just for some symptoms she was having, but she got over it really, really quickly. And so she said, oh, it may have just been, it was the day after we got there. So she's like, it just may have been something I picked up in the airport, or it could have been, just being dehydrated or tired or whatever. But other than that, they have now gone 4 times, and she's never had a bad experience with any kind of gluten problem. So it does take a little bit longer to get your food if you have some kind of intolerance or sensitivity, because they are specialty making it. But you got nothing but time, so go for it. So lots of pros involved in the word pizza here. Okay, another pro is Don Miguel's. So I've explained before, so there's lots and lots of bars, and Don Miguel's is right next to the sports bar. It's kind of next to the shops on the other end, and it's like the classy bar. Like, I don't think men can wear shorts there. I think it's like the dress code applies, and they have all of the fancy drinks, and that's where you get the dry ice drinks, and that made the pro list as well from someone is the chocolate martini. I haven't tried that, but she said it was great. The cucumber martini is delicious, and Justin likes the old fashioned there. And it's just such a nice place before dinner or after, or both. Like our last night there, we went before and after dinner to just sit and chat. And it's not quiet, but it's that classy kind of quiet, you know, where everybody's just like, there's a piano player sometimes. Fantastic. Don Miguel's great spot. All right, and then the last one that I have on my list is activities. So I mentioned in a previous video, and all of these videos are linked down below, so go look at the description if you want to see them. But you can go to Valentin and sit and do nothing. If that is how you want a vacation, great. That is not how I was raised to vacation. Because on the other end of the spectrum, if you want to be busy from literally like 7 a.m. to 1 a.m., you can do it. If you just look at the journal any day, there are activities going constantly. They're not pressing you hard to join them. So if you just want to sit off to the side and read your book or listen to music or whatever, that's fine. But I think it's really nice to at least have those activities there, so people who do want to do some kind of activity have so many options. And I think especially, not that we were with a big group, but I think when you're with a big group, it's nice to have those activities available too. Like, oh, these people want to go to yoga. Oh, these people want to make friendship bracelets. These people are going to do this. Those are some nice options to have. Okay, cons. The first one I wrote down is bug bites. So I had talked to my packing list that when we go to Mexico around this time of year, typically I will take a bug spray and I will find myself needing to use it. I had never felt the need to use it at Valentin, but we'd never gone this time of year. I do still think they spray for mosquitoes, and I do know, and I saw them this time, that they'll have cans of bug spray out. So like out in the plaza area on the bar there, they had cans of bug spray to use. I did not notice that I was getting any kind of bug bites, but on that Saturday when we left to come home, all of a sudden I noticed I had about 10. So that was kind of annoying, and they're kind of still sticking around. So just be kind of careful of that, and maybe just give yourself a little dose if you're going in the summertime. Now again, in January and March, I came in with 0. So I don't know if it's time of year or I just got unlucky or what it was. Okay, I had French on my con list. So I have an arrow drawn to the pro list because there was a lot of good things about it. For me, and I kind of knew this going into it, looking at the menu, I knew it wasn't the types of food that I really found appealing. I wouldn't say I'm a super picky eater. I'm not really big into seafood though. There's a lot of seafood options here. I'll put the French menu here. So yeah, it was really nice service, but it will not be a restaurant that I go back to. And you know, if we go next year and there's a bunch of us and people want to go to the French restaurant, that's great. And then Justin and I, he's not gonna just leave me alone, but like, we'll go to another restaurant or order room service with no hard feelings. Everybody likes different food. For me, it's just kind of a con. So sorry. I know, hot take. Okay, this showed up on there's 4 of us, so almost everyone's list was the music selection. So music poolside, pro. The electric saxophonist, the electric violinist, pro. Definitely loved it. The music they played, pro. Once we got into the Imperial Band, which I know people love, I know. They have a lot of talent, and they're very good singers and musicians. They were choosing songs. You know, you've been to a wedding, and the DJ just keeps playing songs, you're like, dude, no one is dancing. Like, pull one of those old standbys that maybe is a little bit hokey or a little bit corny, pull it out of your back pocket, get people out there. Then once they're out there, you can throw in a different one every so often, and they just weren't singing songs that got people out on the dance floor. And then once the DJ started, he wasn't playing songs that got people out on the dance floor. Yeah, it was just disappointing because I think if you would have asked me my favorite part of Valentin, it would have been at night dancing so hard. That was always a really fun time of the night for us. Like, my favorite part of every day was doing that. And on One of the days we danced a little bit, but not much. One of the nights we skipped it completely. And then our third night there with the other couple, I danced, but no one else wanted to join. And the people I was dancing with, I was like, I don't know this song. I don't know this song. But I just knew, like, it's my last night in Mexico. I have to dance. So that's always our fun part. And the music selection just wasn't very good. Ooh, it's getting cloudy. We might get storms. Welcome to Nebraska in June. It's going to storm every day. Okay, let's switch. This is one that I really don't like, and I think my parents are going to really dislike it. And that is, we now use QR codes there for almost everything. So you don't get a journal, which would have like, happy birthday to these people are returning guests, here's the restaurant that's closed. Every night there's one restaurant that's closed. So here's the restaurant that's closed for tonight. Here's the hours for the other restaurants. Here are the times and activities for things happening today. That is online. Every menu is online. Drink menus are online. I think we didn't book any spa services, but I think like the spa stuff is all, like everything is online. Now, I love the internet. I love technology. Not as much as you and me. Comment below if you know what that movie, that song is from. But it is just really, when I look back at some of the videos and pictures, almost all of them have one of us on the phone. And it's not necessarily on the phone like being rude. It's just you sit down and everybody has to pull out their phone to look at the menu, and then you have your phone out and you're waiting for your food to come and your phone's already out. So then, you know, and just looking around and everyone is on their phone. I don't like that. And I know that they're trying to be COVID friendly, and I know that they're trying to be environmentally friendly. So I was thinking about this, like, if there was even just a way that they could, I know it's not classy, and Valentin's a super classy place, like laminate the menus so they can still clean them and they're not having to throw things away, or make them on paper and just recycle them. I don't know. I wish there was an option other than QR codes. Maybe keep QR codes for people who like it. I did not. I would much rather, if they would have been like, would you like a paper menu? I would have said, absolutely. Or would you like a menu that we can later sanitize? I would have said, absolutely. So I didn't like that, and that was new this time. We hadn't had that last time we went. All right. Obviously, on my con list is going to be the whole COVID test thing, which they don't have anymore. So Justin was like, don't put it on there. Here's the deal, though. That's the whole thing, and I know it's not happening, but part of my disappointment was just in the poor organization of it all. That, you know, you have to make an appointment, but then apparently everybody makes that appointment at the same time, and then you're running so late, and there's not, if they would have had chairs to sit on, if they would have had water bottles to drink, any of those types of things to just help make the experience a little bit better. But it was really frustrating. Like, when I think about our last full day there, and I think about we spent 45 minutes standing, or I sat on the floor in line in a hallway of one of the buildings, like, it kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And I know that that requirement is probably not going to be there in place, but it just kind of was like, well, I just didn't like the organization of it. Okay, my last red flag, and I thought about this one especially for my dad, who watches my videos, so thanks, Dad. He loves to be in the ocean, and he loves to snorkel. I was going to say scuba, snorkel. Again, we have now been there in January, in March, and in June. Not all this year, over many years. And every single day, it's been red flag. And the surf is really rough. So it is not a place, I've seen very few people in the ocean. The first time we went, everyone else got in the ocean. Justin ended up hurting his foot, like, because the surf was so rough. It's like a whole thing. So it's not a good place. Like, if you like to sit by the ocean, you're in Lake Flynn, no big deal. If you like to walk along a beach, great, this is your spot. If you like to actually get in the ocean, it's gonna be a little bit rough. If you actually like to get in the ocean and see fish, you probably need to book an excursion. Now, excursions are available, so that's a possibility, but you can't just be like, oh, I think, you know, for the next 20 minutes or so, I'll kind of go snorkel while everyone else is at the pool. No, snorkeling's not really an option. And there's nothing that Valentin can do about that, obviously. I'm just saying there's so many all-inclusives that if you're thinking, I really want to go to an all-inclusive and spend some time snorkeling, as much as I love it, this might not be the place for you. Or maybe you go here for like 5 days, then you go somewhere else for 5 days. I don't know, you plan your own vacation. So overall, at the end of this pro and con list, will we be going back to Valentin? Absolutely. We will not eat at the French restaurant. We will maybe take our own playlist and have our own dance party. I don't know. We will be ordering room service. I will be eating so much pizza. Maybe I'll try the gluten-free pizza just for fun. Yeah, we will be going to Don Miguel's. We will be chatting up the staff and getting to know them and having fun with them in that way. So yeah, overall, I would definitely recommend, but I think it helps to know those cons going into it. That is it for this video. The next video you see, I think, I need to check my schedule. I think it's either gonna be the packing list or pack with me to Italy. I don't have a packing list started. Also, comment below, what do I need to take to Italy? Because every other trip we're going on, I've done this before. Italy is brand new, so let me know and help me out. Other than that, I will see you in the next video.